Libra can be a very people-pleasy sign because it can feel it's a very intuitive sign as well. It can feel when conflict is coming, and it's conflict averse. It really just wants harmony. It wants to find that balance between your needs and my needs. Welcome to the Story of Spirit podcast, where practical spirituality meets real life. Hi, I'm your host, She Tells Story. I'm a psychic medium, grief support counselor, professional astrologer, and a human design reader, and of course, a law of attraction master coach. With my unique blend of spiritual and practical tools, I am here to help you align with your soul-led purpose and ignite a life that sets your soul on fire. In this podcast, we are going to explore the principles of energy, astrology, spirituality, and psychology to help you heal your grief and create an aligned life and business from the inside out. Whether you are looking to deepen your intuition, understand your cosmic design, or transform your business, this podcast is for you. Join me each week for insightful discussions, practical tips, and inspiring stories that will guide you on your journey to living your very best life. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at She Tells Story or wherever you listen to this podcast. Let's dive in and start this transformative journey together. Welcome to the Story of Spirit podcast. Welcome to the Astro forecast for the week of April 7th through to the 13th. We start out this week on a second quarter moon phase in Leo. So that means the moon is gaining light. We are feeling the fire of that passionate, creative, love driven moon. And Leo is a leadership sign. It's a fire sign. It is about finding your own worth and your special sauce that you want to bring to the world, right? Your special gifts and talents. And this week that moon is going to have some spice to it, because we start out the week on Monday, April 7th, with Venus retrograde. So she's still in retrograde in Pisces, which is a very watery sign of spirituality, romance, charm. There's this kind of spirituality around it, and it's conjunct Saturn in Pisces. So this aspect, Venus coming together with Saturn is about duty, responsibility, restriction. And whatever planet kind of comes together with Saturn, it almost feels like it's being restricted. So it is not a time where we feel like we're so excited about love and romance. We're actually feeling the restrictions of love, money, and self-worth. So these are going to be big themes this entire week, because this is a very powerful aspect. And Venus is almost stationary retrograde, because she's about to go direct on the 12th of April. So she is slowing down. This is a very intense aspect this week, really asking you to be discerning with your money, with your love, with who you are doing what for, right? Watery sign, Pisces is the most watery of all the signs. It's mutable water, goes wherever it sort of is feeling called to. It needs boundaries, very strong boundaries. So it's the sign of empathy and compassion. And if we allow empathy and compassion to flow kind of everywhere, what happens is, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being empathic and compassionate and kind and caring, but we can then become at the mercy of other people's wants and wishes of us. So as an empath, it is really, really important to be aware of why you do what you do. And if you are feeling other people's disappointment, or you're saying yes to avoid a conflict, this Saturn is going to go, no, not today, not this week. We are not going to allow that to happen. You are going to feel spicy with this, because you're not, this is a reality check moment. We are going to assess commitments, financial plans, and relationships, and anything that's built on shaky ground will become very, very clear to you. So we can use this energy to become very strong in our relationships, or to release. Saturn is like the scythe that cuts away excess. Anything that is done, it will be released now. Financial plans that are going to help you build long-term wealth and focus on your goals. This is going to be really important. But this is a bit of a heavier aspect to feel. Saturn with Venus retrograde, going over your goals, going over your values. What are you really doing with your time, money, energy? And is it really aligned with your long term goals and plans? Like, are you being responsible to your dreams? That literally is what this means. Also on Monday, Mercury is going to go direct. So this is going to add even more energy to this, this week of when Mercury is about to, when it's stationary direct, we call it. He's sitting on the same degree of Pisces and it's going to be here for a few days. So this is a period of like increased confusion, a lot of misunderstandings, foggy thinking because it's in Pisces. So there's not a lot of like clarity happening right now. There's a lot of emotions happening for sure with that moon in Leo, this Venus conjunct Saturn, and Mercury retrograde, or Mercury going direct. So, this is a time when you can dip into your intuition and it becomes sharper, and decisions might become clearer if you are truly trusting your intuition. But if the brain becomes involved in any way, you're not going to get any clarity. You're actually going to try to talk yourself out of the thing that you're trying to really wanting to do, what's coming up from your heart now. So it's not a time to make any big decisions like at all this week. There is so much energy that's really kind of, it's very potent, very strong energy. You can get some clarity this week. You might get some downloads. You might actually see what is working in your life because it will show itself to you and no uncertain terms. You will see exactly what is broken or what is completed in your life. So it's a great time to have conversations but conversations with empathy and compassion, and practice active listening. So not a great time to have conversations where you're off the cuff and you're not thinking about what you're talking about and things come out. It's really about, I heard you say this. Is that correct? Is that what you meant to say by this? This is interesting. Also, not a good time to go to war with trolls on the internet. Like, there's a lot of misunderstandings and a lot with this Pisces energy. Energy leaks can be a big one right now. So, really trying to plug up those energy leaks and conserving your resources, Venus, with really what is important to you, Saturn, and using your mental I'm going to say power, mental resources on things that really are going to move the needle in your life right now. But now is not the time to be moving that needle any which way. It's about getting clarity, review, reassess, revising. Mercury retrograde is not over. This is a very intense time where Mercury is going direct. It's stationary direct, so it's sitting on the same degree, but we're not going to feel that forward momentum until a few weeks from now. So we're still in retro shade, meaning all the degrees that we've been going over in the retrograde season, we're now seeing things in a new light. But real big movement forward, not quite yet. So don't sign any contracts today. Don't buy anything big today. Also, not a great time this week to do any major drastic changes to any aesthetic things in your house, to your body, like that. So of course, you can do whatever you desire, but if you just wait a couple weeks, you're going to get so much clarity to where you need to go, what you want to do, and getting that tattoo. You might even get a better price and find an amazing tattoo artist that has good energy, because you might not know it, but when you get tattooed, you are actually getting tattooed of the energy of the person that's tattooing, the energy of the tattoo itself, and then it's also imprinting the energy of you in that moment. So it's like a combining of these, three things: the symbology of the tattoo, the meaning of the tattoo, what's happening in your life, your energy, and the tattoo artist's energy is also being in there. So, being really mindful, like who you're choosing. You might not just want to stop in on the street and get, some dude in Vegas to do it for you. I'm like, I mean, unless the guy has good energy, maybe. I don't know. It's up to you. Tuesday, April 8th, we have Venus sextile to Uranus. This is excitement, creativity, but unexpected shifts in finances. Not a good time to make big financial decisions. And with this Uranus, you could be buying something super eclectic because Venus is still retrograde, stationary direct, mostly at this time. And it will be a time where you could spend money on something that down the road you're like, ew, why did I buy that? Right? Anyone buy things during COVID that they're like, why? I have a Marilyn Monroe shirt with her blowing a bubble. And I think the bubble is like a turquoise color. And I remember thinking at COVID, this is a cool shirt. And then it arrived. I was like, what was I thinking? That's what this energy is right now. So being really careful about buying eclectic things. This is great for creativity, for staying open to shifts, creative downloads, having wonderful connections with people, meeting amazing people that are going to bring insights and awareness to you. Really be careful with impulsive decisions, and just stay open to surprises. Really a great time to just stay open to surprises. And then the next major aspect of this week is Saturday, April 12th. So as I look to see what is happening between the 8th and the 12th on my handy dandy calendar, I noticed the 9th has a moon square to Jupiter. That is an aspect that can have you feeling like you can take on the world, that you are very optimistic, that you can be of service because the moon will be in Virgo at that time. And moon square to Jupiter means you say yes or try to help a lot of people at the expense of yourself. So really being careful with that. And then also on Thursday, April 10th, we do have the moon opposite to Saturn and opposite to Mercury that day. So this is going to be like a head versus heart kind of energy this day, where you have responsibilities, but you have things that you want to go and have fun and do. And you might be feeling really torn during those two things. So uh, on the 10th, I would say stay very grounded, stay to your agenda and to your goals. Anything extra that comes in that's like, can you take on this extra project, or I need your help with this? I'm so sorry, I'm just not available at this moment in time, but can we do that next week, or would you need my help next week? So just being really mindful of your boundaries this week of what you're going to say yes to. So that brings us now to Saturday, April 12th. There is a beautiful full moon in Libra at the 23rd degree of Libra, happening at 8:23 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 6:23 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, or 5:23 p.m. Pacific time if you're on the West Coast. And this full moon is now illuminating intentions that you set at the last new moon. So this is a full moon in Libra. It is illuminating the new moon in Libra intention that you set on October 2nd, 2024. So look back on your calendar and see, what were you thinking about? What were you dreaming about? What were you trying to find balance and harmony with at that time? Because Libra is the scale. So we're trying to find this balance between who am I when I'm in relationships and who am I when I'm by myself? What are my goals and aspirations? And then how do I collaborate that with others? Or how do I give that away to please other people? Libra can be a very people pleasy sign, because it can feel, it's a very intuitive sign as well. It can feel when the conflict is coming, and it's conflict averse. It really just wants harmony. It wants to find that balance between your needs and my needs. And Libra, in its best calibration, is a win-win situation. How can we create a win that you win and I win? But when we are little humans, little kids, we can feel when we let people down. So we will then take the loss to create a win for the other person. And a win lose does not help anybody. It actually starts to train you as a human that sacrificing is the way to make everyone feel good. So sacrifice is an expense at your own, the thing that you desire, you give that up so someone else can win. And that's terrible, right? We can create win-win situations in anywhere we go, right? Anything that we do. And you always have the choice of a no deal, right? If a win lose, you don't want to win lose, you can say, I'm sorry, I'm just not interested in this deal anymore. Right. It's so interesting. I was in a few magazines last year. So honored and so loved it. Had a great time with it. And then I think there's like this sham that's out there now, because all these new magazines from around the world who are legit, they're legit magazines, are come calling, but they want my story, or they want me to be in their story for a fee. So it's like your top 10 CEOs. And it's like Business Weekly. Yeah, like a psychic medium is going to be top 10 on that list, but sure, whatever. I'm honored to be considered, and it's 2,500 US dollars. No, thank you. right? Am I paying for this top 10 spot or did I actually win it? And so, that's very fraudulent. But if I felt like I feel like it's very fraudulent anyways, and people pay their way to the top all the time. And I'll say we currently don't play for ad placement. And this is not an ad. So, okay, then we currently don't play for placements in magazines. If I've won it fair and square and you want to feature me, great. Oh, then you have to pay for us to print the magazines. I'm not interested in a printed magazine. I'm fine to look it up online. No, we need to cover the costs for the marketing. I'm pretty sure you don't make Oprah pay for her spot. Do you? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so scammy. So it's a it's a no. It's a no deal for me. I don't want to pay for I don't even know who's going to read this magazine. Are there my ideal clients there? I don't think so. So it's a no deal. As much as they want to continue to renegotiate, it's a no deal for me. I don't want to pay you any money for this magazine. You want me to be in the magazine? Then have me in the magazine. Bless. And that's always like, we will be declining this offer. Thank you for your interest. So, always love that. So, this full moon is going to bring clarity to relationships, balance, and self worth. Now, remember that Saturn, so Libra is ruled by Venus. So, we always look to see the ruling planet, what's happening. And Venus is now stationary direct and sitting with Saturn. This is a time when any relationships that you have that aren't working is going to, I'm going to say fall apart is the word that just came into my mind. Like, it's time to go. It's time for it to leave. We don't have space for it anymore, because what's going to flow in when this relationship is ended is so much better. It's so much better. I think we often think we're trying to like save this dying thing, and we're like, bless, thank you very much. We're going to release. I appreciate you. Find gratitude in everything you brought into my life. And I'm excited for the next thing that's going to come in. Right. Also taking accountability in that, right? We're not just like, bye. It's like, how did I learn? How was I responsible for that? And what do I want to do differently next time? So this moon is going to bring clarity. It illuminates dynamics that need adjustment, and asks us to find harmony between independence and connection. With the sun conjunct Chiron in Aries, old wounds around self worth and relationships are going to surface at this time. So Chiron is the wounded healer. Anywhere it touches, we always are sort of healing a wound about that. So Chiron in Aries, if you've born with this in your chart, there will be something about taking initiation, being seen as a leader, being a pioneer, self-worth. Aries is about me energy. So the self-worth pieces around, can I stand up for myself? Can I ask for what I desire? Am I worthy of what I want? These kinds of themes are going to come up during this full moon in Libra. And any toxic relationship patterns, any emotional triggers that are, it's going to come up. So give yourself grace during this time. Journal what's coming up for you. Where is this really started in your life? This reminds me of the time when. And looking back in your life, did you have any other relationships like this? Did your mom and dad relate to each other this way? What parts of yourself don't feel worthy or enough? What is it that you truly desire, and what's holding you back from really claiming that? So those are some big things that are going to come up, because really within a few hours, the full moon is at I think we said 8:23 p.m. Venus goes direct at 9:03 p.m. So like less than 45 minutes later, now Venus is technically direct, but she's been stationary direct on the 24th degree of Pisces for a few days and going to stay here for a few days. So she's not going to really start to move forward until she moves into Aries, which is going to be at the beginning of April. So that's when we're going to see things really start to pick up. And after weeks of Venus retrograde, relationships, finance, and self worth issues are going to become clear. Not move forward just yet, because she's still on that same 24 degree of Pisces, but clarity replaces confusion in the coming weeks, and decisions around love and money feel more certain. This is a time of renewal in your values, allowing us to move ahead with greater emotional wisdom. So the last 40 days that Venus was retrograde, This was bringing up clarity for you. What are your goals? What are your values? What do you really want to spend your money on? And have you been doing that? Or have you been spinning your wheels and pretending like you're moving forward, but you haven't been? Right in life, like I see it all the time with entrepreneurs where they're like, "Oh, I'm going through a rebrand." I was like, "Oh, your fourth rebrand in 2 years. How is that actually serving you? Do your clients even know what you do anymore? Do you know what you do?" I know an entrepreneur that rebrands at least twice a year. And the thing that she does has not changed. It's like it's one of those traumas that keep her busy because she's not moving forward. So she's got to figure out her brand before she moves forward, which is absolute BS. It is not. It is what you do and how you make people feel, and that is what is really holding you back, right? That's why I love working with entrepreneurs, because your business amplifies your personal development, and your business will only up level to the degree that you will up level as a human. So it's development and personal development and business go hand in hand. Your business reflects you. So I love working with that, because that is going to be so clear to all the entrepreneurs that are listening. So be patient. Trust takes time to build, with self and with others, with business, with self worth, all of it. Where are you holding yourself back because there's a part of you that doesn't feel safe with your dream and desire on the other side? So, this is going to be the big question this week, and really the question for the rest of April, right? April is going to bring about clarity from the shakeups that happened in March. And then when we get into May, that is when full steam ahead, everything is going to start to line up, and you're going to start to feel it going faster and faster and faster, which is kind of, I feel a little scary because it felt like March went by so fast. But things are going to literally, the timeline is going to start to pick up here in after April. So things that you are setting in place now, foundations are being set now. What are you choosing? Wishing you a wonderful week ahead. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Story of Spirit podcast. I hope you have found inspiration, support, and practical insights to help you align with your soul-led purpose and live a life that sets your soul on fire. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to the podcast, leave a review, and share it with a friend. Your support helps us to reach more listeners and continues to provide valuable content. I sincerely appreciate every share, and I know it is how most people find me. It is because caring people like you have shared me with them at the right and perfect time. For more resources, insights, and to connect with our community, please visit us at www.shetellstory.com and follow us on Instagram at shetellstory. Remember, your journey to a more aligned and vibrant life is just the beginning, and I am here to support you every step of the way. Until next time, stay aligned, stay inspired, and keep shining your beautiful light. This is Shetell Story, signing off from the Story of Spirit podcast. Here's the legal ease that's required by our lawyers. This podcast and the YouTube channel represents the opinions of Shetell Story and her guests to the show. The content should not be taken as medical, psychological, or financial advice. This series is informational and entertainment purposes only. Because each person is so unique, please consult your healthcare professional, your mental health dream team, your financial advisor, or anyone else that's an expert in the field in where you are thinking of making big choices in your life.